Yo, what's going on, people? How you doing tonight? How's everyone feeling? How are we doing? How's your day? How's your night? How are you feeling right now? Okay, Sunday, beginning of the work week tomorrow. Got some things to talk about. We're gonna have a good show tonight. We're talking about some good stuff. I want to get into some information about what's going on with this and with some events in history that maybe were overlooked. We're going to talk about the Balfour Declaration, and we're going to get into the USS Liberty and that incident and how that transpired and what all went into that, right? All right. Now, before we get started, I'd like to say thank you for everyone who tunes in. Appreciate you. Also, feel free to check out me on Rumble. Check me out on YouTube. I'm on TikTok also, Daily Rabbit Hole. None of the names change. It's all the same. The Daily Rabbit Hole. That's it. That's how you can find me. So Facebook, Rumble, because I'm live tonight on Rumble. All right. And my TikTok is the Daily Rabbit Hole. Okay. Also, feel free to send stars. Feel free to donate. Feel free to have a good time with me tonight. All right. All right. So the Balfour Declaration. Let's see. Where's my? Here we are. Here we are. Oh, before we start, of course. Hope you guys are in the same thing with me. Got your cup or your beer. Got everything you need right now for tonight. All right. So the Balfour Declaration. It's a public statement issued by the British government in 1917. Okay, during the First World War, announcing its support for the establishment of a natural home for the Jewish people in Palestine, then an Ottoman region with a small minority Jewish population. The declaration was contained in a letter dated to, November 2nd, 1917, from the United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour to Lord Rothschild, a leader of the British Jewish community, for transmission to the Zionist Federation of Great Britain and Ireland. The text of the declaration was pressed on November 9th, 1917. All right. So this is what led to the creation of Israel. All right. This is how Israel became an entity. All right. It wasn't by some benevolent cause, but this was pretty much done in the works and what was basically coming for so long. Okay. Now a lot of this doesn't take place or transpond until like we get into the 40s, but what I'm reading you is the foundation was already laid. All right. This whole pool was already happening with the assistance of British Parliament. Okay, so that's how we got. That's how the UK got brought into this. You guys been hearing about how the UK was involved in this, all right? So I have the Balfour Declaration letter. I'm gonna read it to you. It says, "Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration with Jewish Zionism, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object. It being closely understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or rights and political status deployed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation." This is Lord Rothschild. All right. There's that name again, right? You always hear that name, the Rothschilds. Now, this was made November 2nd, 1917. Let me make sure. I feel like today's the 29th of October. All right. We're eclipsing on some things, on some dates, and some anniversaries. Now, what's so fascinating about this is that where the stalemate in southern Palestine was broken by the Battle of Beersheba on October 31st, 1917. October 31st is a very important date for the country of Israel, or the entity of Israel, because that's allegedly when their title ends or their lease ends on the land. And when you're asking me, what do you mean there's a lease on the land? There's a lease on the land. They're occupying the land prematurely, and that time is up. And this can be said if you go back to the UN General Assembly in New York about a month ago. Like I told you guys, there's a lot of condemning of Israel. There was a lot of condemning in there that wasn't discussed. Of course, we saw Biden, we saw Bibi, we saw saw Putin wasn't there this year. We saw some other names. But we do know that there was a lot of condemning with Israel. Okay. And I wouldn't just say purely condemning. Now, when I say condemn, it's not like it was just, death to them, death to that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is for the actions that are going on in the area with Israel, there's been a lot of partial, let's say partial issues in the Middle East. And that being that they're occupied illegally. I try to tiptoe around it because I don't want my stuff to get banned. Try not to get banned. It happens. But, I'm going to get the truth out to you. All right. Now, is there a little static? I'm sorry. Thank you for telling me. How about now? Is that better? Can you guys hear me? Go back. How about now? Better? Granny says good. All right. Thank you for that. All right. I'll just leave my adjustment right there and I ain't going to touch it no more. All right. So where was I? All right. So a lot of the issues in the Middle East with Israel itself is essentially what the problem is. All right. Now, in this situation, right, before we get to the video about the Balfour Declaration, I want to say something, okay? If we look at the fact that they're surrounded all pretty much most sides except for the west because that's where the water's at. But you have Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Egypt all around them. You got Yemen under Egypt or Saudi Arabia, excuse me. All right. There's a reason they were trying to hold off on this ground invasion. Now, don't get me wrong, they've already started the ground invasion. They're on the ground. There's boots on ground. They're not alone. All right. We do know that Fort Bragg was activated and Fort Liberty was activated. All right. And they sent 900 to Syria and Iraq. All right. And Israel's got a nice hunkering. That number was 2,000 with the Marine first response unit to now that I've heard it's up to about 10,000 troops in Israel right now. All right. So the Israelis are not taking this ground attack alone. They got help. All right. So this is why if you guys are paying attention to the news, you guys can tell that with Trump saying what he said, if there's an ounce of American blood spilled, then he's going to spill more. And then you heard Blinken state that if there's a shot taken at us, then we won't hesitate to do whatever we need to do. All right. It's kinetic now just because in Iraq and Syria. All right, it's kinetic. Let's stop whispering about saying World War III and let's be comfortable with mentioning that we're kinetic right now. Okay, it's okay to mention it. It's just the truth. All right, no fear mongering, no war mongering. All right, so there's a lot going on with this region, and we have to be careful with what side we try to take. I'm not saying you can't stand for something. What I'm saying is, how many times do we stand for the same trick? Okay? The Palestinian people, the Israeli people are the people who are losing the most out of this. As far as Hamas and the government, I always will make it known that I don't support either of them, the government or Hamas. They are the same thing. Let's not be deceived in this. Okay? But for the people of Israel and the people, I wish them the best. Prayers and thoughts to all those people out there. It's pretty rough, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the Balfour Declaration video real quick. You guys take a quick listen, enjoy, all right? Here you go.
I would say that the Balfour Declaration has to be understood not as an idealistic gesture, but it has to be understood within the framework of British imperial policy, and Lloyd George was the main instigator of that declaration because he believed that it would serve Britain's interests.
But this was also the first time that any major European power had given official backing for the Zionist goal of making Palestine into a Jewish homeland. Yet Sharif Hussein had understood that Palestine had been promised as part of his deal for Arab independence. Anticipating Arab outrage at the prospect of a Jewish homeland in a largely Arab province, the Balfour Declaration had also stated that
nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine.
the declaration, nonetheless, appeared to indicate British support for Jewish emigration.
There were only a mere 80,000 out of some like 700,000 people in Palestine who were Jews. The indigenous inhabitants of Palestine were referred to as non-Jewish inhabitants. And that Palestine was being identified, even at that stage, as a Jewish land. And all the others had no defined identity. They were simply non-Jewish.
The Balfour Declaration was what it says, a declaration. It wasn't a treaty, it wasn't a signed agreement, it was a declaration in support of the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine.
All right. Good, right? Quick and simple, all right? Now, this is the definition of colonization, okay? If this is new to you, I can understand how you may not understand it. Like, so what does this exactly mean? All right. So at that time, the Jews had no homeland, or the Jewish, had no homeland. All right. Now, if you understand their history, we've talked about this numerous times. Where their original homes are, it's Ukraine. We know who they are. Right. They had been kicked out of all their lands, and after World War II, with the Holocaust and all that went on, they were gifted their land in Palestine, surrounding around Jerusalem. So what happens is Jerusalem is the actual capital of Palestine, or once was. All right. And then what happens is they occupy everything around it. And then this is where the Gaza Strip comes in. The Gaza Strip is a 200 square mile piece of land with, I had a brain fart, with 2 million people there, just kind of living there. The resources are controlled. Their food's controlled. They can go south and they can go north, and they're always under constant surveillance. Okay. So basically, some people call it an open air prison. I would more or less call it a concentration camp. All right. That if there is any way to call it, it's a concentration camp, because that's where they're at. And then when these people go to their mosque and to go, religious observance, pray and whatnot, they're spit on, they're shunned away, and sometimes they're beaten. That's just the truth of the Palestinian people out there. This isn't something where their sides are being taken, or I'm leaning one way. It's not that I'm leaning one way. It's that this is what history has shown us. This is what the last 75 years of occupation is. And in that declaration, we hear that the Jewish group, they would love to live bipartisan with the Palestinians, but we've noticed that this isn't the case. That's just not how it's happened. All right. So when we fast forward the last 20 years and you hear like the conflicts, the 6-Day War, Hamas has launched or Israel has launched at them, that it's all part of this. But right now, what makes this one so unique is that it's 2023. We got 2 years before Agenda 25. We all understand the Zionist goal, and we understand, that there's something funky in the wind right now. All right. There's something really awry about all of this. All right. Because with all this said, with Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, Lebanon, Syria, everybody's involved in this conflict. We have to remember our home front is still going through its own motions right now. All right. So we're watching patiently, trying to decipher what's going on and how this is going to affect us on the biggest scale. All right. Now, before I go too far, we're getting some comments. All right. I see Roger. He says, "What up, fam? How you doing tonight, man? Appreciate you tuning in." He says Israel's not even. He's not, because the actual Israel was a person. That's why you get the Israelites. You know, the children of Israel, because ites means Israel, not Israel. It means children. Excuse me. So you know, the children of Israel. So this goes into the forced prophecy idea. All right, this is one of those situations that I think personally the prophecy happened already. It already took place, and what we're looking at right now is a forced prophecy for the third temple, because they've already got the third temple cleared. They got the red heifers early in the 2020. Right at COVID is when they got the heifers. All right, so this is all proven. Guys, more than happy to go look. They are looking to build the third temple in Israel, and this is what this is really, a lot of it is about. Now, as far as what transpired October 7th and what they're calling it in Israel is their own 9/11, I'll tell you to use your discernment with that. I say that what took place was it wasn't something that should have happened, but if you listen to the hints and what they're saying, you can basically tell that Bibi understands what he's saying when he says it's our 9/11. What was our 9/11? Okay, remember there was a lot of balls dropped. There was a lot of mistakes made that day, and clearly with them, with the most advanced surveillance system in the world, again, one of those situations where we got money and security and it should work and it doesn't work. Sounds like Maui. All right. Israel has grade A security equipment and surveillance, and for some reason the dome system wasn't working that day. The same day they decided to launch 5,000 over. So I mean, you use your discernment with that, and you know, put it in the comments and let me know what you think. All right, we'll get to some comments. I got Darren Smith. Says not all Jewish people, but some of the Israelis have inflicted the same atrocities on the Palestinian community that Nazi Germany did to them. That is a mouthful, Darren, and you're not wrong. It's literally like they didn't learn the lesson. And that's the biggest thing. They never learned the lesson. If they had learned the lesson, they would have their own homeland. They wouldn't have to do the things they do to get what they want. But they don't learn their lessons. And again, right is right and wrong is wrong. Okay? So this is why some people may call it fence riding, but I don't really sit with the Israeli government like that, and I don't sit with Hamas like that. So I don't sit with either. But I can honestly admit that the Israeli government's pretty wrong as far as what they've done to those people. And right now, if you're on my Telegram and you go through the topics, you've seen where they're using white phosphorus gas. That's a war crime. Just point blank period. Bombing hospitals, bombing children, that's considered a war crime. If we're being honest, if what they showed us on TV is somewhat true, Hamas let go old women unscathed and unbothered. So apparently either they're extremely brutal or they're extremely gentle. But what we're getting pushed on the narrative with mainstream media, it's kind of all over the place. All we know is that CNN and Fox have the best publicity possible, and there are reports of other news agencies being attacked. And I've seen the footage. It's brutal. It's really brutal. All right. Ron Ritchie says Israel never bombed a hospital. Ron Ritchie, I don't know what you know, but I know what I know. And It just depends on who you're listening to. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I'm just going to tell you it just depends on what you're listening to. So, but I will say this. War ain't exactly easy, people. There's a lot of war crimes that go on in war. Let's just keep it $1.50. War is ugly. It's disgusting. Things happen. All right. Like I said, it's an unfortunate situation, but I do know that there's a lot of extra stuff going on that doesn't make it to mainstream media. Just keep it $1. All right. Now, I got another subject I want to touch on. All right. Now this goes into this, and what we're getting ready to talk about is the second part of this phase of this war is the same question we're all asking, right? Same question. What stronghold does Israel have on America? Because if you understand what I'm asking, this goes into, what Ron Ritchie said. Israel never bombed a hospital. His opinion, my opinion differ, but, there's a stronghold on this country with Israel. We aid them in everything. Their surveillance system comes from us. Their iron defense system comes from us. We help them. We help them make it. We're sending them batteries right now. Troops. We're sending them 60 billion if they can get it past the new speaker, Johnson. Good luck with that one. I already know he's going to let that one go, but that Ukraine war may be dead in the water. That's another subject. All right. But what stronghold do they have on us to where anything that they do, whether it's right or wrong, we're involved in it? All right. And we don't back everybody as hard as we back them, and no one really backs us in America at all. I don't know if you guys really understand. If you think other countries are going to come to our aid the day something goes wrong, I got a joke to tell you. They're not coming. And if they do, they're not going to let them make it to us. So it begs the question, why do they have such a strong? All right. I got some good answers in here, man. I appreciate you guys, man. So let's get into some. I got Anna. She says another conflict to divide people. Trust me, we're going to touch on that one a lot. Don't worry. Like I got some footage for that too to prove your point. All right. Darren says corporations are run by Jewish money men, Hollywood, music, etc., etc. He's not lying. Kanye's not crazy. He said it. Everyone thought he was off his rocker. If you look at the statistics, you go look at the names. It's not a lie. It's not saying anything otherwise. It's just not a lie. And Yvette, how you doing tonight, Yvette? Thanks for tuning in. One name, Epstein. Ooh. Let me tell you something. When that name came out, a lot of people were looking at life different when he was detained. All right. Gloria says Hamas bombs failed at a hospital. Israel tracked them. Hey, nothing wrong with that. That's what they were saying, and that's saying on a lot of different media outlets. I don't take that from you guys. Stronghold, Abraham covenant, bless those who bless Israel. Okay. All right, Ron. Nothing wrong with that. Just know, be careful what you ask for. I'll leave it at that. So that's part of that stronghold, right? And if you guys ever heard of the USS Liberty, you guys know where I'm going. Where I'm going with this, with the USS Liberty, right? If this is true, this isn't fake. This isn't something that this is a real situation, okay? U.S. Liberty is very deep. I'm gonna play the video first. I want you guys to get a feel for what I'm saying and what I'm about to show you, okay? This is something that makes you scratch your head. All right, here you go.
In 1967, in the Six-Day War, on June 8th, Israeli military, Air Force, and Navy viciously attacked a ship called the USS Liberty, which was an unarmed American spy ship under the NSA off the coast of Egypt in international waters. And it was flying an oversized American flag, and the Israeli pilots were flying over the ship. They'd been buzzing over it all morning long before the attack began. And then the attack began. They hit it with a torpedo in the middle, killing 34 Americans. Then they bombed it, dropped napalm. And there was recently, or a couple years ago, the transcripts came out between the pilots and ground control. And the pilots' ground control in Tel Aviv said, identify the plane, identify the ship. And the planes called back and said, it's American, it's American. And then the command came from Tel Aviv, sink the ship, no survivors. So they intended to put this ship on the bottom of the ocean, but it was one of those old World War II Liberty hull ships, which have good compartments underneath, and it didn't go down. The torpedo went right in the middle of the ship and killed all of the guys down below with the headphones on that were interpreting what the signal's intelligence. Killed all of them, but the ship didn't sink. But when the Americans tried to put life rafts into the water, the Israeli gunboats were machine gunning the life rafts. They had no intention. They intended the ship to go down the bottom, and had it gone to the bottom, it would have been blamed on Egypt. And this would have brought us very close to a nuclear war. But that's another story. This was Lyndon Johnson was in the White House, and he was very, very pro-Israel. And so twice, American planes were launched from aircraft carriers off the coast of Greece to rescue the ship. And twice, McNamara and Johnson called the planes back. He said, I will not embarrass an ally. So 171 Americans were brutally wounded on the ship and 34 killed.
All right. Now, that's real. That happened. That's not something that's hidden. That's surface level. I got it pulled up on my screen right now. Now, it might be worded differently on here because they're going to say it was mistaken. But, I mean, come on. Right? Okay. Now, throughout history, we've heard numerous people sit here and ring the alarm on occasions about the Israeli government. This isn't the first time someone's mentioning this. I've mentioned it. People 20 years ahead of me mentioned it. 40 years ahead of me have all mentioned the same common problem with the Israeli government, not the Israeli people. All right. I like to make this very, very known, but the Israeli government. All right. Everyone has said the same thing. The biggest enemy right now in surveillance and espionage right now is Israel. The biggest ones right now comes from generals, if not McGregor, a couple of them. All right, this isn't a secret. Like, the stuff that's going on is not a secret. It's not like this is new. It's only new. A lot of people don't know how to process information, and that's just my opinion. I don't care, because there's no way you can sit here 75 years of conflict and events that have shown you there's a problem, and you still sit here and say, I stand with Israel, I stand with this. Like, stand with us. Stand with America. I don't live in Israel. I live in America. Stand with us. Stop fighting each other. Like, because the shit that we're watching right now, it's real. The stuff that we're watching is real. The intent in which it happened may be false, quote unquote, false flag. The intention and how it was set up may be false, but the end game and the reaction that is real. There's no other way. So when we look at the USS Liberty and we're trying to all figure out, well, why didn't Lyndon B. Johnson take that as an act of aggression? Because America's itchy fingered with everyone but one country. I can't make this up, and this is why I asked, what stronghold do they have over us? Outside of Christian dogma, what is it that Israel brings to the table of America? And let's not try to say all the corporations and the great things that they've done for us, because we already know the corporations ain't shit. It's an unfortunate truth. We all know the corporations are poisoning the food, they're poisoning the water, they're lobbyists, they're paying people. It's not a, it's so hush hush right now. It's like, oh, you shouldn't say that. But I mean, they're doing it every day. So why does America feel so needed to ride in there on a white and shining horse, or a pale one, depending on how you want to look at that, and go in there to defend Israel? Because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Israel is not a war fighting country. Just because you're beating up on women and children doesn't make you hard. It doesn't. It makes you hard that you can spy and you have surveillance, but beating up women and children, spitting on people and not letting them go to their mosque, come on, man. We've seen the video. They fight every month. There's at least one tabloid about the Palestinians and the Israelis beefing, trying to walking around being beaten by the Israeli police. We watch the police beat these people, and all we say is, well, I stand with Israel. What? That's like watching the cops beat a black person or just an American citizen and being like, I stand with America. They're beating them. It's funny until they beat you. I just don't understand it. You can see the close similarities within America and Israel, and the conflicts inside our country with division and oppression, all this stuff, and it still falls on deaf ears. Like, how? We're all reading the same. Well, we're not all reading the same history book. I'm gonna be honest, we're not. That shit's a lie. We're not reading the same history books. But it's clear as day. It's clear. There's no way. All right. Now, Bill Cooper spoke about this. He did an interview. I think this is like 1995, right? Now, you know, he talks about Israel. He talks about a lot of subjects in Behold the Pale Horse, him being a former, you know, Fed boy and whatnot. I've learned to stop saying the letters and stuff, so I'm just going to say Fed boy. So, you know, former Fed boy, gone whistleblower, and he's kind of ringing the alarm and telling people what's going on. Now, he makes a very captivating statement in 1995 when he's being interviewed. Okay, I got that clip too. You know, guys, you know, I like receipts. Everyone's been talking about this. I don't care if you believe it or not, but it's been a conversation for a really long time. And I would just like to think that somewhere down the line, it would all dawn on everybody that this is for everybody. But we haven't made it there yet. All right. Got a lot of material for you guys tonight. I really planned this. You know, you guys can tell I'm on a roll right now. Appreciate it. All right. So here's the video. It's real quick. Just gonna let that ride with you. All right.
What role in the Middle East again does Israel play in this?
Israel was created as the instrument to bring about the Battle of Armageddon and the fulfillment of prophecy, a war that would be so terrible, where nuclear weapons will be used, so that the American citizens and the other people in the world will get down on their knees and beg for no more war. And what is the answer to that? They're going to be told the only way we can guarantee no more war is if we destroy the sovereignty of nations and we come together.
All right, I told you that was really quick. All right. But does this event not look like it's going to get catastrophic? I mean, it may not, but that's not how the Iraq war went. And right now, Iran's hot right now. All right, everyone's involved right now. Let's not be deceived. Let's not act like this can't really go kinetic across the board, because it's about to. Some parts it's already kinetic. But as far as as far as Iran and Russia, and we know Taiwan and China and the Philippines, look, I've said this before. 3 fights. All right? 3. Israel, Ukraine, Western Pacific, and the 4th one, I hope y'all stand with us, because that 4th one may be the home front. No warmongering. I ain't trying to scare you. I'm just telling you the God honest truth right now. And if you look at the current situation with firearms, you would start to notice that them things about to get limited. The ammo's already gone up 10 cents, and that's being cheap. I say that's being cheap. Some's gone up 20. And as far as right now, the export of firearms to commercial distributors, that's over, because there's some type of real deal conflict, and they need war manufacturing numbers. Becky says, I say turn Iran to glass. Don't be so quick to ask for things that can be done to us. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you, Becky. I understand your sentiments, but remember, this ain't the 50s and the 40s no more. Everyone has the same thing that we have. They all shop together. So mutual assured destruction isn't an answer, because that's exactly what we're going to get, is mutually assured destruction. Now, if you want to turn Iran to glass, cool, but just remember, they're here too. The major cities are targets, all of them, because that's where all the population is at, are in the major cities. So here's what I'll say: be careful what you ask for, because if guys believe in revelations and all this and this other stuff, then we know the northern Gaza corridor and that strip is supposed to burn, and that's supposed to be nuclear. All right? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't see Israel coming out of this with a victory. I don't. The only victory that they can get is mutually assured destruction, because they don't have the numbers, nor do they have the experience to go heads up with Hezbollah and Hamas and Yemen and Iran and Syria, possibly Turkey. Let's not forget, Afghanistan had $9 billion worth of equipment left to them. Their military looks better now than it did when they had the actual U.S. military helping them. What they call a military over there, it looks a lot more organized than it did 20 years ago. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. So all I'm saying, Becky, is this: be careful what you ask for. Be very careful. War isn't pretty. War doesn't favor women. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just being completely honest with you. So I get it. We're mad. We're upset that those young lives are being lost, but be careful what you ask for, man, because it's hot right now. All right? And it's one of those situations that we're waiting any moment, because October 31st is the official eviction date of Israel. It probably won't happen, but it is an eviction date. Now, whether Bibi decides to if he's going to hold true to his nature and he's going to do it, then Bibi's going to do it. And Becky's right. It's going to pop off somewhere. I get what you're saying. Like, we're already here. Get it over with. You don't want to go to work tomorrow. I get it. We're all sitting here like, closing all the banks and the ATMs too. Do I really got to keep doing this? But I mean, they're trying to hold this whole infrastructure up, but the bonds, the buyback on the bonds are going to be low. They're going to be bad. Oh, those security bonds are about to be bad. They're already bad. And if you don't think crypto's not a thing, let me tell you, crypto's not going anywhere. And I don't say it as a staunch person for it. I get it, but you might want to learn this new financial system that they're trying to implement, and don't make the same mistake a lot of people did with Wall Street in the, the roaring 20s and the 30s and 40s. I don't know if that's morally cool to say, because you're still profiting off a loss of life. But I mean, the only people that have the equal power, which we do have, like Becky's saying, like, yeah, I'm gonna get, because we're right on the same page. She says, I really truly believe American people are fed up and are ready for something to happen one way or the other, good or bad. You're not wrong. You're not. You know why you're not wrong? Because we're all watching it. Like, and if you're really paying attention to it, you would know that this can go left really fast in America. I'm not talking about Israel. It's already gone left in a lot of places. It hasn't. The thermometer is glowing right now, right? Darren, he says, holler right here, learn about the blockchain. I knew it was somebody out there. I love the verbiage, a hodler. Yeah, hold on for dear life, baby. To the moon, bitches. Oh, thank you for that, Darren. But Becky's right. We are fed up. So this is my rationale right now. So let's get into rationale. If you knew back then what Apple would be, what Microsoft would be, what Lockheed Martin would be, would you invest in it? If you knew a way to help your people without succumbing to the fall of moral objectives, would you invest in those things for the sake of your lineage, your wealth, and your family? Because that's how I look at this whole new financial system. It's coming regardless. The BRICS is just the other side of the coin. I'm not going to sit here and turn to Putin as my saviors. I'm not. I know they ain't shit either. But if there's a way to make money and help yourself and your fellow brethren honestly, not like manipulative, but honestly help your fellow brethren, would you invest in those companies knowing that, on a whim? Because that's what this crypto thing is. A lot of people call it fake money. Yeah, so is the dollar. And we use that for 100+ years. It doesn't stop us from using it right now. The only people who don't use the dollar are the ones who are completely off the grid right now. So yeah, you don't want any part of the system, fine, but let's be realistic. We're all still in the matrix. We're still a part of the matrix. As much as we may hate it, we're still a part of it. And if you need to maybe lighten that blow inside of the matrix, I would tell you to go get you a little piece of a bag. Go get you a little piece of Bitcoin, or go get you a little bit of Shiba. You can get you about 4 million for $35. You know what I'm saying? There's some coins out there that are gonna stay around, like XRP, like Litecoin, like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm in crypto. I've been in crypto for some years. Like, I just don't talk about it because it's like Jehovah's Witnesses with crypto now. When you knock on people's doors, have you spoken about the almighty crypto dollar? They just shut the door in your face. Damn hodlers are at the door again, babe. Get the dog. Ada's a good one too. I love the Cardano project. I love the white paper for Cardano. I'm not gonna lie to you, Darren. I do. I like the white paper. I've been a huge fan of Ada Cardano project. Alex Network, it's all here. It's been here for 12. Look, listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth. There's no such person as Satoshi Nakamoto. It's a lie, okay? It's DARPA. I hate to break the truth to you. It's DARPA. If you really think, if you thought for a second that a person, a pseudo-anonymous Japanese man created a blockchain encryption and pegged it to a digital currency and let it loose on Reddit, and then after about 4 months on Reddit, it turned around and all the banks just started accepting it. Listen, that's not how this works. The banks don't accept currency that they don't know about. So crypto is here, all right? And what's going on with it is a part of the crypto game. People don't want to believe it, but they're going to peg all their resources to crypto. That's how they're going to back it. As long as you can peg a resource to it, it's okay. The problem with our currency is it's not pegged to shit other than us. And it was the petrodollar, but it also is the drug dollar and the human trafficking dollar and the cartel dollar. It's a war dollar. Whatever dollar you wanted to be that day, that's what that dollar is. And in America right now, our interests are clearly in dollars and lobbying and just BS. Because how the hell are you giving $100 billion to 2 countries when you could have solved damn homelessness with that much money? Homelessness and feeding and the hunger issue inside of America. You could fix it with $100 billion. You could fix East Palestine's defective grounds and water after the train derailment. You could fix their lands with that too. But shit, Maui could probably, Lahaina could be rebuilt with $100 billion with good intentions. But no, that's not what we got. We got another proxy war. Congratulations. Open up your present, and guess what? It was another flaming bag of shit. Nothing changed. We keep thinking like, oh, they're gonna do right by us after this Israel incident. Nope. They're gonna do you wrong again. And then they're gonna go before the UN General Assembly like they've been doing, and they're gonna sit here and spread this rhetoric and narrative, and everyone in America is gonna eat it up. They're gonna be talking about, I stand with Israel, or I stand with Palestine, and all this stuff. All the while, we're in our own country encroaching third world status. In some parts of America, they're third world status. And if you don't know what a third world status is, it just means a lack of resources. That's it. It's just a lack of resources and infrastructure. If you go to Detroit, Detroit is a lack of resources and infrastructure. You go to Flint, lack of resources and infrastructure. I don't understand how we could sit here and scream, I stand with them. I damn Facebook profile changing pictures every damn month. But they can give $100 billion to 2 proxy wars, not including Taiwan bullshit with China or our bullshit with China. And we can sit here and watch that money go out. But here we are trying to figure out what a boy and girl is, as I say every doggone time. Trying to figure out why the white man and the black man don't like each other. We still talking about this? Testing. We're still talking about shit that we know was created to keep us apart. Because in the event that they ever united, and not just white and black, but everyone who is absolutely tired of this shit, like Becky is saying, in the event that that happens, the board game stops. The board game stops. All right? There's nothing left. What else is there for them to do? If we say no, then we can do this non-violent. Just don't go to work. Just get you a month worth of food. If that's possible, it's really impossible. And tell them no. Shit, 2 weeks? They'll be negotiating in 2 weeks. They don't have a choice. Darren says there's going to be a great wealth transfer and the middle class are the target, rich or poor. He's right. And listen, I'm going to tell you something. As much as I understand what the stimulus check was, and that was just kind of writing a blank check and running the country's banking system into the ground, because that's what you do when a corporation is bankrupt. You start spending too much, and then you end up cooking your books. Let's not act like we don't know about cooking books. We all remember Enron. We all remember them. And Goldman Sachs. And Lehman Brothers. So we all know that they're cooking books, and we all know that they're writing blank checks to each other. All I'm saying is when they gave out the PPP loan, all you had to do was pay 75 cents back to payroll, and you didn't have to pay it back. That was the loophole. Most people couldn't follow that loophole because they don't understand finance. But with the stimulus checks, it was a terrible idea to give them out. But if you were an intelligent person with them, you invested that money into something that's going to reap huge rewards for you right now. And maybe in about 6 to 7 months, if you believe in XRP, I'm just going to tell you guys the truth. Because if crypto was going to die, it had died years ago. It ain't going nowhere. If you guys watch TV, just a little bit of TV, you would start noticing new commercials about crypto coming. Getting ready. These already signed on. MasterCard's already signed on. American Express they've been on. They've been on. Joke's on us. They're already in on crypto. The government's already on crypto. They use them as securities. This is the argument. Go look. And if you got some time, the secret calendar or the secret page on the debt clock is open right now. Go look into the secret debt clock. It's open right now. It's from 6 p.m. earlier today till 12 a.m. I think tonight. Go look at the secret page of the debt clock. If you haven't been on Ingersoll Lockwood, I advise you to go to the home page and let your mouse do the searching for you. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Go to Ingersoll Lockwood. If you want some information, you can take that little gem. I ain't gonna go too much into what Ingersoll Lockwood is. But if you know, you know. All right. Now, I got some other content I've been meaning to talk about, right? Now that we've gotten out of world affairs, we've talked about world affairs, we talked about the Balfour Declaration, the U.S. Liberty incident, false flag incident. We talked about Bill Cooper. Now, and we talked about crypto, all right? Now, in other world news and American news, this is for Becky right here, right? Now, this is what Becky's talking about. Becky understands something, and she's not wrong. Becky understands that everyone in America is fed up because I take Becky to be someone who's been, awakened or aware for an extended period of time. So I know she's seen some stuff and she knows what she could be talking about. All right, now I got a video. This is of the Hebrew Israelites in Chicago, because Chicago's a battleground right now. All right, for numerous reasons. This is I think the Palestinian protests and the Hebrew Israelites. If you don't know about the Hebrew Israelites, look into them. All right, check this out. All right. Now, yeah, that's Chicago. And Chicago's a big place for the Hebrew Israelite movement just because of the presence with the gangster disciples and the knowledge in those factions or organized gangs, whatever you want to call them. The Hebrew Israelites are a big thing out there in Chicago as far as, their own movement. Palestinians are, their respective movement, part of this protest against Israel and what's going on as far as the colonization and the oppression and occupation of Palestine and the Gaza Strip, right? So there are people who are out here who are leaning on whatever side of the spectrum they're choosing to lean on, and this is what we're getting. We're getting conflict and consequences of mass amounts of people in the streets. I don't know where this video transpired at. Not this one I'm talking about, but there's a video of an older man driving into a protest. Older gentleman. He got to be at least 70, 80 years old. And he started beating on his car. They start kicking his car, trying to pull him out. This is an 80-year-old man. This is an 80-year-old man. And these people are terrorizing him. Now, had this 80-year-old man got out his car and pulled a firearm and used it, that conversation is real different, and he would get off of it for self-defense because he wouldn't have been in the wrong. And I'm here to say it right now. He wouldn't have been in the wrong if he reacted the way he probably should have reacted. I'm going to be honest. If I'm driving on the interstate and you swarm my car and my children are in the car, or I feel a little tense and it's going to be a long day. We're making the news that day. And this isn't to be tough, but self-preservation matters. I'm going to preserve myself and my family. You're not walking up on my car, kicking it and screaming and all this because you want to. Why are you blocking the street? Move out of the way. All right? Get to a comment. Becky says, let's be honest. Now in Chicago, you can throw a bag of Skittles on the highway and they're going to fight over the pro-Palestinians. They have to understand they live in the United States. If they want to go fight, go back to their country. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying, Becky. I do. She also says, I agree 1,000%. Self-preservation. I react the same way. If you're listen, it's Wednesday afternoon, 3:30. You're driving downtown Chicago, getting off the freeway, and you drive right into a fucking protest. What are you supposed to do? What are you gonna do if you drive into a protest? Like, then you don't want to run them over, but you're scared to get out of the car, and they start kicking your car and they're screaming at you, talking about, yeah, you're gonna get yours, buddy. You're gonna get yours. I gotta go home to my children. I'm just gonna be honest. Self-preservation matters. It absolutely does. So what you're watching right now, this is in a lot of cities, a lot of countries. France has this problem. Spain has this problem. Rome is having this problem. Germany. Shit, man. They're all over protesting right now. Like, you got to make a choice. You got to make a choice for yourself. Like, go to New York. Not even outside of the country. Austin, Texas, Miami, Florida, Cleveland, Ohio. There's a huge Palestinian community in Ohio. There's a huge Palestinian community on the West Coast. Like, especially, there's one in New York too. They're everywhere. And only thing that I find curious about all of this is how fast the protest started as soon as this popped off. That's the biggest red flag. As soon as it happened, everybody protesting that day. All right, let's get into some comments. I see you guys, talking to me. Becky says, anytime I drive anywhere, I always leave myself an exit to back up and move out of line. I do that sometimes. I'm a huge defensive driver. All right. Yvette says, I'm trying to understand why the Israeli government officially stated that young black community is a problem and a threat. Okay, so let's get into that. So Yvette, speaking to you right now, I saw that video. That video is old. That's not a new video. That video is from some time ago. Now, I mentioned the Hebrew Israelites in Chicago for a reason. I mentioned the Gangster Disciples for a reason. There's a reason I can mention certain names of certain groups because their history and their knowledge is tied to the same thing. All right. Now with Israel and black people, I'm not calling all Jewish people racist because that's not true. It's not. The Israeli people, like the middle class poor people, I wouldn't consider them racist. But the powers to be, absolutely. And with the black community, this is why I always said the day the black community decides to put their bickering to a side, it's a problem. And just like I say, the day they decide to put their bicker to the side, it's a problem because if you understand the Israeli enemies, you would know that the white man are an enemy to the Israeli people, the evil Jewish people. Please do not misinform me with the regular Israeli people, but if you know who Finkelstein is and you've heard of the Goyim and you understand how they look at the actual Caucasian man in America, they do not like the Caucasian man in America and they tolerate the black man in America. And this is the God honest truth. And I'm gonna be $150. I dare anyone to question me on that one. I'm not being funny because the only real racist in the world are the elite cabal. If you want to call them that, whatever. But they have a problem with the Caucasian man and the black man. They tolerate the black man because they understand and they can't stand the Caucasian man. And this is a fact. Fact. They're not particularly fond of anyone other than themselves. How many people really went to school with Jewish people? And I'm asking this question for a reason because they don't interact with Americans. All of them don't go to school with us. They don't work in the same places as us. They don't teach their children the same as, they don't even eat the same food as us. So let's be real about something. When that statement came out, Yvette, it's because black people are very unique when it comes to resistance, just like white people are very unique. I tend to be a little bit more forgiving though than the Caucasian man, and that's not a diss on any side. It's not a diss. This is proven in history. Because I can say about the Caucasian man that a Caucasian man, for his beliefs, for his family, and for his right, he will lay his life down. And I can say about the black man when it comes to his community, it used to be this way when it came to his community, his family, and the little bit of what he had, he would lay his life down. But we're so caught up in this division that we don't realize the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'm going to say it again. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Because they all consider us goyim. Let's just keep it a buck. Because the black people that sided with the Palestinians, if you've seen the Israeli remarks from it, they're saying, well, we don't support you no more. We hope this happens to you. And this is a thing this is mainstream media. This is mainstream and underground. The Israeli people have said, certain people are saying, if you don't stand with us, then you're against us. Well, guess what? I'm from America. Look at my new backdrop. If you guys have noticed, I didn't want to kind of point at my new backdrop, but yeah, I added my backdrop, and it's a reason it looks like that. So Yvette, You ain't wrong. You absolutely right. Why'd they say it? Because they're right. They're right. We are a threat to them, just like the Caucasian man is a threat to them. And they stub it the Asians because the Asians are smart. You don't believe me? Go. There's a lot of different researchers and people and professors that have spoken about the racial relations between the Israelis and the Asians. I don't. This isn't a race monger. This isn't nothing. The Israelis aren't fond of anybody other than themselves. Not the poor Israelis. Stop injecting yourselves into rich people problems. The rich people, the people who know. Because there's people that stood. I got that clip about the Rainbow Coalition when the Confederate people of the South and the organized groups and militias, black gangs, were siding with each other. If you don't believe, go to the Internet Archive and type it in. The Gangster Disciples, the Vice Lords, or at the time they were the Young Lords, the Latin Kings, they all sided with the Confederate people. I put the video in my story. It's already been shown. The Rainbow Coalition, before it got taken in this generation and turned into something else, the real Rainbow Coalition was a group of militias in America that stood together, and they were all ethnicities. And this is the first battle in the 60s and 70s. So that's why like with a lot of you guys are my elders on here. I had to learn something through y'all and you guys' history, and you baby boomers, the silent generation, that you guys put up the last fight before we got indoctrinated into the crack epidemic, AIDS, and inflation, and the socioeconomic disruption of welfare system, and the weaponization of the welfare system. Home, no matter if it was white or black. Prove me wrong. Blank face. Let's get to some comments. Darren says, we still talking about black, white, Christian, Muslim, Jew, etc., etc. Keep being indoctrinated. This pisses me off, rich or poor. I'm not mad at you for that. I'm not. Casey says she's good cast. I appreciate it, man. Casey, I've never seen your name before. You look like you might be new. I don't reach my whole 46,000 following. They won't let me. So, if you're new, just make sure to share the page, like, and interact with me. I'll talk with you, man. Everyone in here knows, man, I rock with everybody, man. Just be respectful and talk to each other. Casey says I'm new. Hey, Casey, appreciate it. Well, I appreciate coming on enjoying the cast tonight, all right? This is what this is about. Like, I'm very unbiased. Like, I'll speak my truth. Like, I don't care because you can look it up. I don't make any of this up. So, I appreciate you and thank you for tuning in. All right? But like Darren said, it's absolute horseshit. If you're still pushing this narrative, I look at you differently, because truth of the matter is, I can go certain places in America and white trailer parks look like black projects. And I grew up on both. Here's a little detail about me. If you're in the Army, you know about Fort Riley, Kansas, and you know there's a city outside of Fort Riley, Kansas called Junction City. I grew up in Junction City. If you've been to Kentucky, then you know that outside of Fort Knox, there's a little town west of it called Hardin County. I was a county kid. I've seen real racism, don't get me wrong. But what made me understand when I came back home to Alabama in a predominantly black neighborhood, it was all the same. It was the same exact thing. No lie. Out from a trailer park to the hood to the projects, it's the same problem. Drugs, lack of education, lack of resources, and lack of infrastructure. It's a third world country in most neighborhoods, impoverished neighborhoods in America. If you don't believe me, go to Chicago. Go to New York, go to Miami, go to Houston, even your little towns. I'm military. Here's another one. No, I'm not lying. If you go to Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in Goldsboro, North Carolina, and you go out the south gate in the back, the projects are right behind the base. And they call them projects the jungle. I'm not lying to you. You go to MacDill Air Force Base and you go out I think it's the north gate. It's either the north gate or the south gate. I think it's the north gate leading towards Dale Mabry. Yeah, projects. That's not a coincidence that most bases are near impoverished neighborhoods or in impoverished towns. And you think I'm lying? Go to Fort Hood. Tell me I'm lying. I'm just telling you the truth. Darren says all by design. Absolutely correct. I'm not making this up. Every base, for the most part, there's a hood or a project near it. That's not by accident. That's not by accident. So when we sit here, we push this narrative about race and religion and sex and creed, we're playing a narrative. The whole time they sitting up there dapping each other up, laughing at us. If you think the blacks and the whites can't get along, and you think the blacks aren't in secret societies, I advise you to look into the black nobility and the black boule. You'll find Oprah, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Berry Gordy. I say these names because it's true. Go look into the Freemasons. Albert Pike, he was a Luciferian. The whole entire Freemason structure is based off occult knowledge. The whole structure in which we're being poisoned is occult knowledge. And I got another video to show you that proves that. Yeah, I can't make this stuff up, man. It's clear as day. All right? Let's get into some comments. Becky says, this is a confrontational room. I feel like it was confrontational. I don't know what confrontational is. That's a new word, and I've heard of that. I never heard of that. So thank you for giving me that word, Becky. Merrick Zed says, knowledge, wisdom, thanks. Merrick, I don't know if you're new. I feel like I've seen your name before, but welcome back if you've been with us. And if you're new, welcome. Darren says, on Rabbit Facebook page, change your notification from highlights to all notifications. Thank you for that, Darren, because I do get a lot of censorship. I got 46,000 followers, and I don't see all of y'all. I try. I do everything in my power to reach out to all of y'all, but the algorithm is on my ass right now. They're like bill collectors. I don't know what to do with them. All right. Julie LaPierre says, lack of two-parent household too. Absolutely. And I do like your flag. I saw that. Hey, if anyone knows what an upside down flag means, that means America's in distress. Thank you for that. Thank you for the other flag symbolism, because I got mine too. You know what I'm saying? Darren says a corporation is run by Satanism. Yes. Yes. Without a doubt. Satanists, blood drinking, lamb sacrificing, which stands for babies, people. These people are cheating the laws of the universe. This is why they do what they do. It's true. I'm not. You believe otherwise, I don't know what. I have no idea what to tell you. Mark Zed. Oh, hold up. Sorry, Mark. Merrick, not you, not Mark. Sorry. Becky says, you're proof that social media is biting them on their ass right now. You're exposing the truth. Becky, thank you for that. I try. I really do. And here's the truth about me, guys. I sometimes deal with anxiety or that imposter feeling. And I only say that because I feel like I'm going crazy, and when I give you guys all this information, I don't know how receptive y'all are gonna be to everything that I say. And as a man of color, you know, I got to deal with, you know, oh, you're not this or you're not that. And here's the truth. I honestly don't care, but the pressure to conform can be hard sometimes. And I'm not really a conformist. I stand for what I stand for. I respect all opinions in here, and I let everyone speak their mind as long as you're not attacking each other. That's all I ask for is don't attack each other. I'll quell incidents. I've done it before. I have to tell people, hey, cut it out. All right. But I have the issue sometimes I think like my message isn't reaching. But then when I look at my feed and all the censorship and all the bullshit that come through that gets all these views, I'm like, I'm clearly doing my job. I'm clearly doing my job. Like it's not about likes and clicks, and like it helps the message get out. But I want to inform y'all. I don't want to sit here and scare y'all, but I would like to inform you. And that's all I know how to do because I really take time to research this. I take time. Ooh, excuse me. I take time. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you, Becky. You're one of the biggest fans of the page. You're in the top 10. I see the list of all of you guys' interaction. I know who's in the top 10, and it doesn't really matter, but I do appreciate you guys consistently interacting with the page and going to my other pages. While I'm talking about it, don't forget to go to my Telegram. You know, that's where I can really kind of put out information. Don't forget, I'm on TikTok. Don't forget, you know, I'm on YouTube. I know it's a lot of platforms. I just try to reach out the way I can, but I'm mainly on Facebook. Facebook pissed me off recently with censoring me last week about the intelligence notice in San Diego about potential domestic terrorism or people coming across the border. Okay, so I got censored. They muted my live. That's the first time I had my live muted. They muted me. So I'm on Rumble. You guys can find me on Rumble. Rumble's streaming right now. I hope I'm doing well because I can't see it. I closed it. I think that's why my mic was sounding the way it was. So I cut that page off, and you know it's running right now. So if you're on my Rumble, appreciate you, man. You know, I appreciate everyone who basically chimes in with me and interacts. I try to make it personable. All right. Merrick Zed says from Sydney, Australia. Hey, Merrick. Thank you for tuning in all the way from down under. Hey, like I always say, you guys are part of the fight too. You're part of the whole BS that we're all dealing with. All right. Now, if you guys don't know, Australia's going through their own basically authoritative movement right now. All right. Now, their leadership is very liberal and it's kind of on that bullshit, and they're getting censored too right now. Just like, you know, if you go to Canada, they cut off all their news media. Like, I don't see Canadians anymore on my feed, and that kind of upsets me because I used to have a strong Canadian following, and I don't see a lot as like I used to, and I feel like that's because, you know, Canada has basically oppressed all news media and coverage that's going on in their country. So, you know, that's the kind of oppression that we're dealing with right now. All right. And Darren says, talk it out. I don't judge. Let it out. I'm letting it out, Darren. I'm letting it out, man. You guys always learn something about me when I'm on here. All right. Like I try to be personable with you guys, and I try to, you know, be myself with you because this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? I come from a rough background. I've done some things in my life, but no one's perfect either. Like we're Americans. If you're in America, you understand that land of the free and home of the brave is really home of the hustle and home of the gangsters. Land of the hustle and home of the gangsters. This is America, man. We're something else here. And a lot of people say they don't like it here. I'm going to be honest. I don't know anything else. I've lived here. Besides my deployment, I've been to Kuwait. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to meet, you know, the Australian Air Force. I got to meet the Japanese Air Force. I got to meet the British Air Force and the Royal Air Force. And, you know, I met the New Zealand Air Force. I met a lot of different people and had dinner or breakfast with these people on base. So that's where a lot of my culture comes from, and understanding that a lot of people are having the same exact issues. And this was almost deployed in 2008, so 15 years. So 15 years ago, I deployed part of Operation Enduring Freedom in Kuwait, and I just talked to people because I worked in the gym. Not like the 1%. I'm not the tip of the spear. I'm the stick that supports the spear. Fold your towels and make sure you enjoyed yourself at an Air Force base. Anaristic says from Australia, hey, Ann, appreciate you also from the down under, man. I know you guys are kind of, dealing with your thing. Like I said earlier, we know you're going through a lot too. So don't think that the narrative that they show you about Americans and what's going on here, we love you too in Australia because we know you're going through the same thing, man. We get it. Becky says, people that live in the ivory towers has no clue how the American people really live. If you're not hustling, you're not surviving. That's what I love about the United States. There's always a way to make a buck. If that's not the most comment that I've heard. Becky's not wrong though, man. If you got the balls to do it, you can make something of yourself. The idea of the American dream, it still exists, but if you're not careful, the American dream will become your biggest nightmare. Because when you reach that American dream, you got to go through a certain door, and you end up meeting the nightmare of the American dream, and that's the Satanists and the cabal. If you're QAnon, you know what I'm talking about. I posted a video, got a lot of feathers ruffled about QAnon. A lot of people believe in it. A lot of people don't. I don't believe in it. I think it's a psyop, and I think they gave you guys information. That's just my opinion. I'm not gonna go too deep on that. But what Becky is saying is true. America is a place where you're allowed to think what you want. As long as you say it in a way that's conducive, you can get away with saying it. There's such thing as hate speech. There's such thing as, violent speech. But in America, you honestly have an opportunity to make something out of yourself. Now, is it harder for others? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. If you're not educated and you're poor, it's fucking over. And that has nothing to do with color, because there's the damn natives got free land and they get a check a month. They get a monthly check, free education, and they're still struggling. They have a rape issue on their own land. I don't make this up. They have a drug issue. They don't have the facilities. They're a third world country on their own land. If you're poor and you're white, guess what? You're no better if you're poor and you're black. You're the same fucking thing. That's the God honest truth. You're the same exact thing. The only difference between you and me is skin complexion. That's it. We're still getting played. It's rich against poor. This shit is classism, guys. It ain't what you think it is, okay? Julie says, thank you for your service for our country, sir. I appreciate it. Look, I'm going to say it out loud. A lot of veterans are weird when you say that to us. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't really feel like I know I aided in enduring freedom. I know I'm a support troop in the Air Force. I wasn't 1%. And all I did was party and get drunk in the Air Force. So when you say thank you for your service, my only answer is that somebody has to do it. And I didn't do it because I love this country. To be honest, my circumstances were I joined the Air Force because I didn't know what I wanted out of life. So it's weird to me when people say thank you for your service. And I don't take it as disrespect. Thank you so much for that, because someone has to do it. But it is weird when we hear that, because it's like, you had no idea what I had to deal with. Even in the Air Force as enlisted, enlisted sucks. Like, it's difficult. Like, enlisted is not fun. I know people call us the chair force. I'm not gonna lie. We're better than the Coast Guard. I don't care. I said it. Better than the Coast Guard, damn it. We contribute. We deploy. I got my cherry popped. 944th, Ali Salim Air Base, 2008, Operation Enduring Freedom. I worked at a gym. You know, I made sure you guys got your racquetball in and your towels, and you had a bottle of water, and you got your intramural sports in. I did that. Hey, McCabe, how you doing, man? Darren says, one of three things to survive in America, drugs, drink, or Jesus. You left out drugs. Forgot drugs. Drugs is huge in America. We love drugs. Keeps us away from the reality of the BS. All right. McCabe says, facts, same here. I wanted education. I did too. That's all I did. Look, man, I got my home loan. I got subsidized medical care, education. You know, I got my D. It shows my ribbons. It shows I'm in service. It shows my deployment. So, you know, that's what I got. I got a bad back from it too, and a slight drinking problem. Also, you know, as everyone in the military, we all have that first marriage we don't want to talk about. That's like a military ritual to get into a marriage you shouldn't have got into and then get emotional damage from it. That's how you know you've been in the military. McCabe says, hey, everyone had a job to do. That's true. You know, it's just the narrative with the military is they push the 1% and it looks so cool. It does. I'm not going to front. Infantry, combat control, TACP, Navy SEALs, Navy Corpsmen, Rangers, Delta Force. It looks cool as hell. It's so hard. I didn't have the cojones to go Marine. The winter dress is absolutely immaculate though, but I didn't have the cojones. I went to the Air Force. They said I had good ASVAB scores the second time I took it, and they took me in the Air Force. So I went Air Force. Becky says it didn't matter why you joined the military. Once you're in committed, you have the same mentality out here as you do in there. It's self-preservation. You'll do whatever it takes to make it. You are absolutely right. I am not playing around about self-preservation right now. Like, I still go off. Here's the funny thing. When I was in my 20s in the military, I was such a knucklehead and hard-headed, it was hard to deal with me unless I respected you. But in my late 30s, I lean on a lot of my military values and characteristics so much today. I got PT more now. You couldn't get me to do PT consistently in the Air Force. But in my 30s, I PT 3 times a week. I do all of that now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's structure in my life that I needed that I got from the military. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. It is what it is. But there were things I needed to learn and I got out of the military, right? So that's crazy you say that. Julie says the fact still remains that you signed up and you did your part defending this country, and showing up is half the battle. Showing up is actually 99% of the military. As long as you got a pulse and you can blink, you'll do all right. As long as you can manage those two on your own. All right. Now, before we get too far into my military career, I got some rabbit hole stuff I want to go over, right? I got like 30 more minutes, so I want to kind of get into some rabbit hole stuff with you, all right? All right. Anybody notice something during the World Series? I'm asking, if you guys watch baseball, who's noticed anything in the World Series that seems real familiar about 22 years ago? I'm actually waiting. I need someone to answer this. I want to see if you guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, damn it, Darren. Damn it. I knew it was, I was waiting. I thought it would have been McCabe. Julie, you're right on. There you go. Anybody notice that Bush is throwing the pitch? He threw the first pitch in the World Series after the incident in Israel. Israel called it 9/11. You know the last threw the first pitch in the World Series? It was after September 11th. And I have a video. I think I got a couple videos. All right. So do me a favor. We're gonna talk about this because this is cool. So this is the rabbit hole stuff. You know, I try to keep the politics to you, but I like the rabbit hole shit. All right. So ratchet and fun. Damn it, Julie. Hold on. Hold on, Julie. Look at you. Just giving comments. Hold on.
Please welcome the 43rd President of the United States of America, George W. Bush. With one swing. High drive! It's tied! Garcia sends one the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the wall, and the legend grows! Adolis Garcia wins game one!
Hey. Brandy, damn it, Brandy, hold on. Oh, you guys out here lighting up my comments right now. All right, look. Anybody find that strange, though? And it's the 119th World Series. Arizona's in the World Series again. Now, I had a theory. I talked to my wife earlier about this, right? I have a theory. Hear me out right now. Hear me out. All right. The World Series is a board game, okay? It's all right. So the last time the Diamondbacks won the World Series, I feel like I'm not sure. I think they played the Phillies that year. This is when the divisions were different, you know. They realigned. I could be wrong. Just know, I remember the big unit throwing that World Series, right? Okay. Now, I was talking to my wife earlier, and I came up with a theory. Hear me out. The reason Bush is throwing that World Series is because on the world stage, America is the first to throw the first punch, right? That's what I'm thinking, right? Okay. The Arizona Diamondbacks are located in Phoenix, Arizona, which would be the Phoenicians. If you know who the Phoenicians are a subcategory of people from Samaria in that time, right? And then you look at who they're playing. Back then, it was the Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies are the politicians, or, you know, the groups, because Philadelphia was originally the capital of America at one point. Not Washington, D.C., it was Philadelphia through the Rockefellers. So that when you hear the Phillies, think about the politicians, okay? We went to war in Iraq in 2003 after that, okay? Now, we're playing the Texas Rangers this year. And if this is a game board, and the conflict at the southern border is being played right now. So I'm thinking, here's my thought. I know it's crazy. Hear me out. I'm finna get this out. The Phoenicians represent the Middle East. So when Arizona won the World Series that year, the war was fought in the Middle East. All right? It was fought in that area. Okay? Now, the Phoenicians are fighting the Texas Rangers, which is a subcategory of American. The Phillies and the Rangers are two different kinds of people. Okay? The Phillies are the politicians and the Rangers are the Rangers. That's heart of Texas. And then that's Bush's team, right or wrong. Okay? Yes, I'm pouring myself a drink. Uncle Nearest, 1856. That's what I'm on right now. But hear me out. So what if the World Series is played for the location of an event, right? It's the World Series. The games always go to 7. The last time in 2001, it was the Texas Rangers. I think the Phillies were in, the Diamondbacks, and I want to say either the Yankees or the Dodgers. Okay, hear me out. Bush is a warmongering piece of shit. His team is in the World Series. He threw the first pitch that launched the 2003 war, which coincides with 9/11. Bibi calls Israel his 9/11. The Phoenicians are from that area because they're Canaanites, right? We're going biblical right now. The Texas Rangers are an old group that protected Texas during the Alamo. The Texas Rangers, or Lance Bass, are the people that hunted down the criminals, right? Let's say whoever wins the World Series is where this battle is going to take place. And right now, you're dealing with 2 border states in the World Series: the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers. How the hell does that happen? You have 2 border states in it. Yeah, Darren, get your gematria calculator out. I'm on that kind of time. I didn't pull the calculator out tonight. This is my theory, though. This is just my theory. I really think, because look at when the season starts. The season starts in the beginning of spring, the real New Year, and then it ends right at the Day of the Dead. How the fuck does that happen? How does the season start at the beginning of the New Year, the real New Year, not the Gregorian calendar New Year, but the Julian calendar New Year, and then it ends on the Day of the Dead, which is a traditional Mexican holiday. I was going to say Spanish, but Mexican holiday. It begins the beginning of the harvest, and it ends at the end of the harvest in the Day of the Dead. How the hell does that happen? This is the 119th World Series when he throws it. They're going to go to Game 7 because 7 isn't a lucky number. It's not. People lied to you. It's nowhere near lucky. And here's another thing. The Texas Rangers Stadium is called Globe Life, and Chase and the Diamondback Stadium is Chase Stadium. So we got 2 banking powers right now. How does this happen? This is the rabbit hole shit I'm talking about. This is what you guys wanted, the rabbit hole stuff. All right. And Brandy said something. She says, that's not Bush. Listen, Linda. Listen. It looks a little different. If you guys believe in the tribunals, cool. But I can't prove the tribunals exist. I can't prove that. I read them. I read about them. I just can't prove they exist. But they're saying that's not the real Bush because he has a mask on, just like that's not the real Biden. Now, I truly believe that's not the real Biden. Darren says it. Everything is a ritual. He's not lying. Everything is a ritual. Think about it. In the World Series, we don't play the world. We don't play the world. We play in America, but it's considered world champions in every sport. How are you world champions if you don't play the world? Unless your team is playing for some world event that they don't know about on some ritualistic standpoint. Here's another fun fact. I'm an LSU fan. Here's a fun fact. 2003, when LSU wins the national championship, we go to war with Iraq. 2007, when they win the national championship, the 2007-2008 season, they win the national championship, right? Financial collapse happens. LSU wins the championship in 2019-2020 season. What happened 2019-2020? C-19. How much you want to bet there's something connected to LSU winning a championship in some world event going array? I I don't make this up. I'm a huge LSU fan, but those are truths. 2003 with Nick Saban, we went to war. That's when we declared war and we moved into Iraq. 2007, 2008, financial collapse. 2019, 2020. So how does that happen? You guys are giving me good stuff right now. Julie says, banking. Have you seen the debt clock windows? I mentioned that there's a secret window open. I'm going to go ahead and open it. I'm going to see if I can get to it. Debt clock. Because I haven't looked at it yet. I want to see the secret window. Now, if you got to go through Ingersoll, Lockwood, maybe there's something different to it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. The secret window that's open right now. Oh, goddamn! Let me share it. Let me move my face. Did they censor me again? I'm back. Can you hear me? So I pulled up the world debt clock. I'll read it to you again if you didn't hear me, okay? I just won't put it up on my screen. All right? No, I'm still here. So look, I'm still here. So apparently they turned my voice off when I was reading this. I'm still here, Becky. So look, the government should create, issue, and circulate all the currency and credit to satisfy the spending power of the government. By the adoption of these principles, the taxpayers will be saved immense sums of interest. Money will cease to be master and become the servant of humanity. All right? Now, on the bottom of it, if you guys are able, go look at the world debt clock right now. All right? It says the money power preys upon the nation in times of peace and conspires it in times of adversity. It is more despotic than monarchy, more insolent than autocracy, more selfish than bureaucracy. All right? This is a secret window on the world debt clock now. All right? This is the stuff that, gets us called crazy. This is the stuff that nobody believes. All right? I think when I go to my children's screens, it turns my sound off, but whatever. I wasn't gone. I was just showing it, but apparently you couldn't hear me. But I'm here. All right? I'm here. All right. No, I do have other videos, right? I got one more video to go over. Now, if you guys have been watching the news, recently in Russia, this is some rabbit hole shit, right? Believe below. I don't speak Spanish, but hola. What's up? My wife had to decipher it. I appreciate it. Have a cigarette? Yes, my wife is sitting here listening to me. She's watching my live right now. I don't speak Spanish, but hola, appreciate you. Thanks for being here. All right, now there's one more thing I want to show you. Recently, and this links into some rabbit hole news, right? If you guys are paying attention to 23andMe about a week ago, 23andMe had a major hack. They got hacked. And now that happens, right? So the databases were raided and the information was leaked. Now you're asking, I want to know who knows this. Rubs hands like Birdman, like Monty Bird. Excellent. Who knows what information was leaked off of 23andMe? I want someone to put it in the comments. Darren, I feel like you might know this. Someone put it in the comments and let me know what information was leaked on 23andMe. Somebody let me know. Yes, I like cigarettes. I'm the Matrix. Don't judge me because I'm enlisted. I'm a normal person. I'm not going to act like I don't smoke cigarettes and I'm like not oblivious to shit. I know. I get it. No one's going to answer this question? All right. If you close, Julie. You're close, Julie. Which bloodline? Which one? Which one, Julie? Let me know. You're close. You're real close. Which one? I want somebody to say it. 13 families. They're the 13th out of the 13 families, but they're the 13th Israelite tribe. Anyone know who the 13th Israel is? This goes into what we're talking about. What's up, Vanessa? Appreciate you tuning in. This is a good show tonight. Let me know. Someone tell me who the 13th tribe is. This goes into, I think it's Yvette that mentioned it earlier. Someone go into the 13th tribe. I want the answer. I'm not going to give it. I'm not giving it because I know the answer. Close. You're getting close. Is there static? Brandy says there's static. Is there static? Static. Cain. She says Cain. You're still close. You guys, they occupy, they're the whole conversation right now. They have a certain name. You have to say the name. Debit, you dare it. Dig. The 13th tribe are the Ashkenazi Jewish people of the Hebrew Israelites. This is what this whole conversation is about. Zionists. Yeah. The 23andMe infiltration and leak is the 3 million Ashkenazi Jews in America. If not because it may be more because it's not a lot of them. Here's what happened. People are coming home and finding 6-point stars marked on their house. You don't believe me? Go through all those links that I'm posting. You can go to the main page and join. I do that for a reason. I want y'all to join these pages and go through the information. Listen, somebody leaked 3 million Ashkenazi Jewish people's information. What I'm saying, what I'm about to show you right now is a byproduct of what's going on right now in Russia. Not the Bilderberg. The Bilderberg is a commission. It's a group of people. The Bilderberg, not the Bilderbergs. The Bilderberg is a group in Germany. In Bilderberg, Germany, outside of Bohemian National Forest. This is where the Bohemian Grove comes from. All right. which is in Eastern Germany, if I'm not mistaken, or Eastern Europe, right? All right, now look at this video. Yeah, maybe, TJ. All right. So the Russians basically bombarded an airstrip with a flight coming from Tel Aviv looking for the Ashkenazi Jews. How did they know? Here's the video.
На борт, быстро все на борт! На борт, быстро все на борт!
Yeah, Facebook's easily messing with me right now. TJ just said it. All right. So look, that video I just showed you, that's real. So what happened was a flight from Tel Aviv flew into Russia. I don't know what part. I can't tell you what part, but it flew in and they bombarded the ramp. People, listen. Something's going on right now that we may not fully grasp either. Like, all right, like, and this is biblical. It's not the children of Benjamin. They're not of any bloodline, not of the Israelite bloodline. They're not the children of Israel, but they're the synagogue of Satan. And we're not talking about the Israeli people again. Let's make that very clear. We're not talking about the Israeli people. We're talking about the Israeli leadership and the government and the people who really pull the strings behind the scenes. When you see the president with all those rabbis behind him, that's who we're talking about. Julie is correct. This is one of the most correct statements that I've seen in a long time. It's the end for them, not us. Listen, that is the most correct statement out of everything that I have seen on my lives. And I'm going to tell you, because if you've been reading your Bible, you've been reading all these books, you would know he's not talking to us. He's not talking to us. The Most High in the book of Enoch was talking to Enoch about his children, the synagogue of Satan. Again, I'm not talking about poor Israelis getting bombarded. We're not talking about those people. We're talking about the real problem. Darren is absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. We are talking about a group or a faction that has managed to infiltrate everybody. And if you don't believe me, go look into the Khazar Empire about 1100 AD. And you're going to notice that they migrated. I don't make this stuff up, people. This history. I am giving you historical facts right now. Why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself out to be this, a TI? Because it matters. These people, the synagogue of Satan, are forcing a prophecy right now. That's why this is why this show is lined up perfectly. I lined up everything perfectly tonight. Thank you to the Most High, to the people listening. Y'all flowed with me tonight. Here is the big shebang. This is my point of tonight's show. This was my point. I am trying to show you there is a glaring problem with one group of people. Darren, I think you're talking about the lady from the Fall of the Cabal. I don't know. I follow her on BitChute. I have her videos. I shared them on my page. I shared her the Khazarian Mafia and all that, right? Julie says, oh, and she's speaking facts right now. Julie says Israel was set up by the UN just for the Gog-Magog war under the guise of humanitarian effort after the Holocaust. Boom. Emotional damage. True. 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 This one particular group is behind every problem since 1492. I don't have to go that far back. This one particular group since 1492 has been a problem. You know what 1492 is? You know about started with the Moors. Conquistadors were Moors through bloodline, through reproductive benefits or breeding rights. Because that's why on the back of your dollar you have the Moorish symbol of the pyramid with the all-seeing eye, and on the other side you have the eagle. That's them. The eagle is them. And Brandy has a point. The Muslims are them. What we don't understand about the original Khazarians is that the Khazarians were a small group of people from many tribes, and they were nomads. These were people who were kicked out of their land for whatever reason. But the Khazarians alone were known for practicing occult magic and the dark arts. They worship Baal and Moloch. They are the Amalekites. We spoke about, and we're battling the Amalek and all that. Bro, he talking about himself, but because we don't understand what that truly means, we think like he's actually like fighting some real form of evil. The Jesuits too. You're not wrong. Darren says it goes back to the Dark Ages. You're not wrong. TJ says power at all costs since 3rd century Nazi. He's not wrong. Like this story has been going on. There is one group of people that does not have their own land because they don't deserve their own land because they don't know how to act. Bunch of wild damn savages and wildlings and shit. This is the rabbit hole. This is what the daily some stuff that's gonna ruffle some feathers because I can give you receipts. I can pull up the Khazarians. I got books on these people. I've already done investigative reports on them in my live. We went through this months ago talking about the Khazarians. Yep, TJ said it. Darren too. Through slavery and sex, they have infiltrated every known government. Facts. Big facts. No cap. That's what the young people are saying. No cap. So when you look at this current event, they're forcing prophecy because the God that they talk to ain't the same God we're talking to. Brandy says Muslims were ran out of every country. They tried to go. Now, I'm going to differ with you on that, Brandy. Now, you're not wrong because every country the Muslims have went to, they conquered until they had to get ran out of. But I won't say they're evil. Now, there's some good Muslims out there. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. There's some good Muslims out there. There's some real good ones out there who don't stand for the terrorism and don't stand for the child trafficking and all that other foolishness that goes on. So yeah, I agree with you, but I don't agree with you. But it's okay, Brandy. Hart, I appreciate you still here talking to me, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Vanessa Sparks says the Caucasoids. And here's the thing, Vanessa, you're not entirely wrong either, but the Caucasoids have a story. You're not wrong though. They do come from the Caucasus region, in between the Caspian Sea, in between the Black Sea also. Mainly what we would call certain parts of Turkey too. So the Khazari Empire stretched from Ukraine down to certain parts of Turkey, which is part of the, if I'm not mistaken, it's either the Byzantine or the Ottoman Empire, and it may be both because they've been around for so long. All right. These people were respectively kicked out because they practiced the dark arts. They practiced Baal worship and Moloch worship and deities like Isis and Thoth and Set and all these people. Like, we're thinking they're different. Even within the black culture, And our deities that we thought were our deities are not our deities. I'm going to tell you the truth. I study deities too, and I'm thinking the next live I'm going to do is probably going to be on deities just so we can do some rabbit hole stuff, because I haven't done deities yet. So, me personally, I wouldn't be too shocked if most of the stuff that you're reading is coming from them, because they've infiltrated everything. The Rockefellers rewrote medical and education, and Jalil Maxwell's father helped write our textbooks. Darren says you can see the symbolism everywhere in America. He's not wrong. I see the symbolism everywhere. I see it everywhere. I can't go nowhere without seeing symbolism. It's so hard. Like, that's how you can follow this. If you go on CNN, I know you guys hate CNN. I do too. I hate Fox News. I hate MSNBC. But one thing I give them credit for, they don't mind putting out their symbolism and letting you see it. You just have to know how to look for it and follow what's going on. That's why I got the Telegram channel for you, so that you can get other outlets and piece this shit together. Because it's there. You can't unsee it. Darren ain't wrong. You can't unsee it. TJ says the children disappear into their altars, and it's sickening. Catholicism, Christianity, Muslim, anybody that you can think of with a faith, they're all tainted. This is why Malcolm X walked away from the Brotherhood, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a pedophile. And that came out of Malcolm X's mouth. You can go on YouTube and look at it. Why is the KKK symbolism the same thing as the Islamic symbolism? They're the same thing. You see, you can't unsee it. Vanessa Sparks says the Masons. Listen, the Masons and the Shriners aren't far off. The Masons acknowledge all deities. They only require you to actually believe in a deity. They don't care which one. They don't care at all. You can believe in whoever you want to, but you have to believe in something, right? Julie says, can't unsee it for sure. Can't watch a movie without spotting the symbols. Listen, I got a list. I might put the list of movies on my page. I'm going to tell you, Transformers, that's about the fallen. That's a whole story. The Matrix, Terminator, Knowing with Nicolas Cage, of course, the classic, They Live. One of my favorite movies, They Live. Roddy Piper. And that was probably the biggest truth that they told. 1984, I just watched Amerigeddon a couple of days ago on YouTube. That's a good one too. You definitely got to watch it. Hunger Games, Purge. Man, there's so many movies with symbolism right now where they're telling you what's going, like what their idea is and how they want to move about it. They have to tell us the truth because of karmic debt. They have no choice. Because if they didn't, then Michael and Uriel and all those other angels would come down and they will persecute them because they're bending the law to their favor without telling the truth. Karmic debt is a mug. So that's why when you watch TV, they have to tell you. That's why we watch Bush do a ritual at the game. If you know what you're looking at, you can see the ritual itself. But if you don't know, it's just like a Roman cathedral. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's the 1856 talking to me. Spirits. Man, the symbol. Look, you want to see real symbolism? I'm not gonna lie to you. Go watch music videos. Go watch Go watch movies. Go watch the Senate talk. Go watch anything. There's always symbolism. Always symbolism, right? So I watched what did I see today? I watched a foreign minister on CNN on GPS today, and there was a lot of symbolism in that, and it was very subtle. You had to really look for it, right? So it's one of those things that it's there, right? And in most symbolisms, it's either stars or the sun or a mountain, right? Prudential, mountain, paramount, 22 stars. When you see the stars come down and they run through the water, the birth canal, and they come up around the mountain, that's Mount Sinai, allegedly, and those are the first 22 fallen angels to come down. You think I'm lying? Go check it. You want to see symbolism? Go to what's that in New York? What's it called? It's an immigrant island, but it's where the Statue of Liberty is at. The Statue of Liberty is not green, it's copper. But if you look at the Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty has the 7 pillars on her head and she's holding the flame right there. That's Satan. Think I'm lying? The Twin Towers went to the World Trade Center. The One World Trade Center. It's called the One World Trade Center. It's one world now, okay? The Georgia Guidestones that were destroyed last year, 1 year ago, think it's 1 year ago, destroyed? Yeah. The Georgia Guidestones were a blueprint how to restart civilization after the world ended. They wanted 500 million people. The symbolism is in our face, all right? Let's get to some comments. What's good, D? Yeah, I'm on tonight, man. What's good, man? I appreciate you on here with me, man. Much love. Darren says transgender. Yeah, and that's a pattern of the group that we were talking about. Because if we go back to Germany and the Eastern European Jews, if you ask Hitler what he had a problem with, go back and look. I'm not gonna get into Hitler because people get sensitive about Hitler, Stalin, and Mussolini. But I'm gonna tell you, the Bolshevik wars and then leading up to Mussolini and all of them, go look at what they had a problem with. I bet you the first thing you read is usury. Usury is illegal. Interest is illegal. And there's only one group that believes in usury. I'll let y'all put that in the comments who that group is. Brandy Watson says that's the truth. Yes, ma'am, it is. Ellis Island. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tracy. Tracy, I don't know if I've seen you a lot. Are you new too? Or are you just coming through my feed because I've been on for 2 hours tonight? Like, Facebook is really trying their best to not let me reach everybody. Like, I should be up to 30, 40 people, but they keep kicking people out. Like, I get distorted and having static and stuff. So maybe Facebook is banning me, but if you go to Rumble, I'm on Rumble. Hopefully Rumble's not banning me either right now. Tracy says she's new. Welcome, Tracy. I'm Mark. I'm the owner of the Daily Rabbit Hole. This is my entity. This is my business. This is what I do. I do this twice a week. I do it on Sunday and I do it on Wednesday. Sometimes I do it on Friday and Saturday. Just depends on how the media is giving me information that day. But I do this Sunday and Wednesday night. You're more than welcome to follow me on Rumble. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I have another page called The Backwoods. That's my backup page. You're more than welcome to follow that page too. It's called The Backwoods. I'm on Rumble. I'm on Instagram. The Daily Rabbit Hole. Look for the stressed out bunny rabbit. That's me. I'm sorry, your guy. Fluid. Sorry. But nonetheless, my guy, get up with me, man. I'm on different platforms. I move around, but I'm always on here. And I'm also on Telegram. If you want the good information and the footage, the stuff I don't post, you can definitely find that on Telegram, The Daily Rabbit Hole. All right. I got different topics and different places that you guys can talk to me in. I'm still building it. But you're more than welcome to come on there. All right. Same for you, D. I'm on Telegram, Daily Rabbit Hole. You know, I'm on YouTube. You're on my YouTube right now. I see the logo. So, I appreciate you guys. Little promo right now. Feel free if you got it. Feel free to send me some stars. Help me grow. As you see, all your money's put to software and stuff, but behind me, you guys paid for that. All right. This flag, this mic, you paid for that. All right. Don't think like what you send me goes to the BS or bullshit. You guys are paying for everything I'm doing. You guys pay for that flag. All right. That flag is mine as much as it is yours. You guys paid for that, and I appreciate it. You guys pay for my software too with your stars. So feel free to send me stars. Subscribe to the Daily Rabbit Hole. It's not expensive. It's $2.99 a month, man. I got to get back to it. I've just been trying to build all the other pages. I haven't forgot about the subscriptions. Rock with me. You know what I'm saying? I try to get this stuff out to you guys. All right? Appreciate you, Tracy. Appreciate it. Much appreciation for you pulling up on me tonight. All right? But the group that we're talking about, they're the same exact group. Darren knows who they are because Darren is clearly in this room, right? So is Brandy. These people have habits that you don't understand. They like transgenderism, they like porn, they like child trafficking, they like usury, and they love war. You don't believe me? You can find that on Wikipedia. They love war. They love infiltration. They love a lot of stuff. They love everything that is tainted. Excuse me. They love tainted stuff. And they practice occult magic, knowledge, whatever you want to call it. They practice it. If you don't believe me, go look in the Project Looking Glass. You don't believe that they're here? Go look in the Project Paperclip. T.J. John said they believe in slavery. Go look at the King James version of the Bible, and before that, it was called the Book of Demonology through King James. Go look into it. Becky says, sometimes I wish I had my rose-colored glasses back on. Listen, Becky, you can't take them off, baby. I try. Look, we're all like, Becky, have you seen They Live? Instead of the rose-colored glasses, we're all wearing Ray-Bans right now. We're wearing a special form of Ray-Bans. And when we put them on, we can see the world for what it is, and we can never take them off like Dick Gregory said. You can never take them off. You can never force nobody to see what you see. I don't force it on nobody. Just like that guy, Rich Richie, came in. He's all for Israel. That's fine. But from the lenses that I'm looking through with Israel ain't shit to me. I'm gonna keep it $1.50. Israel can't say nothing to me about who they are and what they mean as far as humanitarian efforts. Because the way they've treated the Palestinians on the Gaza Strip is an abomination. It's the same way our government treated Flint, Michigan with water. It's the same way our government treated East Palestine after the train derailment. They come on, people. We can't sit here and act like we don't notice the traits and the habits and the fruit that they bear. We can't say that. We can't sit here and say I don't see it. I see it every day. Every day. Till this day. I see it everywhere. I can't go anywhere without seeing it. It's difficult. Like, Becky, I wish I could put on my rose-colored glasses. I wish I could put them back on. I ain't had on rose-colored glasses since I was 10 years old. I'm 38 years old right now. Freshly 38. I can't unsee this stuff. And it's hard because I got 4 beautiful children who don't see the world the way I see it, and when they want to do stuff, I'm hesitant because I know what it is. I coach football. You guys understand that, like, I'm a football coach, and I understand that the game itself may be actually the WWE. But for me, the opportunity to mentor adulthood and manhood means more than just the game. If I can get this young man or this young lady in any sport in a scholarship, and it can be a better version to society, I will coach them into the ground until they go and get their damn degree. But I can't sit here and act like I don't know no better. I know what the NFL is. I know what the NFL is. I know what not the NFL. I know what the NCAA is and the NBA, tennis, golf. It's all rituals. It's all games. That's all it is. But if I can influence somebody to better themselves in a way that is different from the fucking norm, then I feel like I've won. I have young men to this day, right now, and we still talk, and I give little gems to them. I don't give all this information to them because that's not my place, but I'm here to guide them. Because I don't know, it's not my place to destroy their reality. If you're on my page, your reality is already destroyed. You're already fucked. We're here because we're like-minded, right? TJ says, you will own nothing and eat bugs and like it. You're dead. You're straw man. We ain't mentioned the straw man. We ain't mentioned, the Black Law Dictionary that tells you what the words mean. You guys understand that we're all technically, quote unquote, dead. Based on law of admiralty, the law of the sea, piracy. Black's Law Dictionary, I recommend you guys looking into. You email me and I'll give you these books. I got them. Email me. It's on my page. thepodcastguy251@gmail.com. Hit me up. I'll send you information. I can give you receipts. I'll never tell you nothing without giving you receipts. That's just who I am. That's how I built my name on my platform. I give receipts and then I cover the receipts and show you that this is actually real. That's what I do. Julie says, hard to have a conversation with a normie. Oh my God. Julie, listen. What I'm about to say is really fucked up, okay? So I don't want y'all to think I'm talking about y'all. What I want to say is the normies don't understand it or can't see it because they're not supposed to see it. And it's not our place to make them see that shit. Like, I can talk till I'm blue, but if you don't see it, you just don't see it. I can't help that you don't see it. I can only help to help you see it. I see it. There's a reason this is sitting behind me. This is my new background. This is my backdrop. I work for this backdrop. This is my backdrop. This is what I stand for. The fluoride stare, Darren. You're absolutely right. I posted that meme. This is the fluoride stare. That's the fluoride stare. That's what stare. If you don't know what fluoride stare is, it means your pineal gland is so calcified that when I say something to you, your brain synapses, the little energy connections that fire off when you get new information don't work. Because when you get a headache from new information, that's your brain connecting to different synapses and connecting information. So when I tell you something and it don't register, that means that shit is glazed over. You are not registering anything. A little sunlight would help you. Not the chemtrail sunlight, but you know, the pure sunlight that you get lucky like once a week on. Not the chemtrail shit. So talking to people like being this or that, like you guys are, like I am, it's hard to sit here and talk to people when they want a small talk and you sitting here watching the world burn. I can't go anywhere without seeing symbolism. I can't help but to look at my people, when I say my people, the people of color, and want to shake them by their shoulders and be like, listen, they're fucking you. And I can't do that because that's not my place. My place is to give the information to the people who want to hear it. My place is to give information to the people who don't want to hear it, but I can't force them. If they show me that they're not there, I can't push any further. And Darren is right on cue. Darren, don't take this away. You're either reading my mind or you're a Fed. Damn it, Darren, you better not be a Fed because I like you. And if anybody knows where Steve Overman is at, someone tag Steve Overman because he should be in this live right now. I ain't seen Steve's name pop up yet. Hold on. Is the U.S. attacking China right now? I just got this message. What do you mean? Is there a conflict? Now, let me pull out the computer. Let's pull it up. News is breaking as it's happening. I'm on Brave. I'm not using Google. Brave is better than Google. I'm working on it. I'm on Web3 internet right now. It's very infantile, but I use Web3. I mean, nothing that I'm seeing. If I go to my Telegram right now and look around, I may find something because it's Telegram. Yeah, Google sucks. I don't use Google. I use Google for dinner reservations and dates with my wife and stuff with my kids. I don't use Google for any fucking significant. TJ says, oh, there's so many more there, here, everywhere. Darren says it's my Palladian DNA. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So that's good because, you know, I know, like, you know, the Fed boys are on my page. Like, we all know this, right? Long as we all know we're on a list, let's not be deceived. We're all on a list. If you're in the daily rabbit hole looking at me, look at you, talking to you, you're all on the list. You know why? Look at my backdrop. You're all on a list with me. It's the only party we're invited to right now. All right, I'm going through Telegram right now. You guys know I'm always on Telegram too. TJ said it's fear. Reload says with fear we ain't playing their games no more. We're not. That's why they're firing everybody right now. They got to fire the nurses because the nurses were injecting people with placebos. You know, you don't believe it? Go read. Go type in C19 placebos, and all the nurses been injecting people with placebos that could save. These nurses were saving lives. That's all I'm saying. All right, you got people striking, walking away from their jobs and their careers. Why? Because of unfair treatment and shitty working conditions and poor pay. Right now in America, you probably need about $35 an hour, $40 to survive. 20 is pushing it, depending on where you live at. But to be comfortable, about 35 an hour, easily. So I haven't seen anything about China. She says American News Network. Ah, okay. So I'm gonna entertain you right now because I can do that. Chris Sanders. Ah, Chris. Look, I don't have a problem with Chris Sanders. Chris Sanders goes really hard though. Like he told with fear mongering. I'm on Newsmax too. I check Newsmax a lot too. I'm waiting on it to load because I'm doing a lot. I'm on a laptop. I'm not on desktop. You know. Like he is a patriot. Chris Sanders is a patriot in my opinion, but he told the line of warmongering and fear mongering sometimes. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying he rides that line really well. Actually, Newsmax is already open. My bad. So right now in Newsmax, I'm looking at 100 storm airport in Russia, anti-Semitic riot. That's all over the internet right now. For broader Middle East war, excuse me. DeSantis fuck old punk ass. I was gonna say something else, but you know, I'll be nice. He's on my shit. I don't have anything on China, but if something does transpire, you guys know I'm a jump quick with coming live. Going live don't mean nothing. I'll either do it from my phone or do it from my desktop, but I'm gonna go live and cover it. Or I'll do a quick video on TikTok and, you know, speak my mind on it. So we're 2 hours and 28 minutes in. This is one of the better lives in the last couple of weeks. I came prepared. I didn't have any technical difficulties, and I had something prepared for you guys. We really dug into the Balfour Declaration and the U.S. liberty. Hip Hop Revolution asked me 2 weeks ago, and, you know, I covered it for him, to be honest. I really wasn't going to cover it, but I covered it because he asked me to cover it. Because, you know, some people aren't comfortable doing what I do, going live and talking the way I talk. And that's fine. I don't mind talking for any of you. I don't have a problem with that because I exercise all my amendment rights. And I made my choice already. So I'm okay with covering stuff for you guys. But it was important to cover this because the people don't know about the USS Liberty or the Balfour Declaration. And it's important that we get this information out in so many facets and platforms so that people may be able to arm themselves with knowledge and information. They start looking into, you know, survival and prepping, right? Now, that is another live that's coming too. Probably in another week, I'm going to do a prep live and a defense mechanism live. Basically explain secure prepping your home, getting food ready, getting your pew-pews ready, and explaining the current situation of arms and the two-way amendment right now that's kind of going to shit because we're in this constant state of conflict and they're taking all their government contracts with the arms distributors and the arms manufacturers. So right now, you're probably going to see a gun shortage in another month. You're going to see an ammo shortage soon. We're already seeing inflation on ammo right now. We're already seeing it. 223 is 42 cents a bullet right now on WikiArms. Sorry, I couldn't get it out. It's WikiArms. If you're looking for the cheapest rifle you're gonna find right now is $350. And listen, with what just happened in Maine, I haven't researched and covered Maine enough, but that's coming in another conversation too. Maine is not what you think it is, and I can prove Maine is not what you think it is. Okay, Maine. If you go on my Telegram, I got the photos of who Robert Card is. I got 3 different pictures of Robert Card, and the picture that they're showing on CNN does not match the dude that was in the surveillance videos of that incident. That's not the same person. And The dispatch information has already been leaked, and they're saying that they were Middle Eastern in a red sedan. We're gonna get on that next week. All right. Darren says it's important to share information and talk with like-minded people. This is how knowledge is shared. This is how growth is created. I don't know everything, but I know what I know. I don't know everything. I don't know everything. It can seem like a lot of content creators, we know everything. I don't know everything. I know what I know, and I give that to y'all. So I understand that I'm still learning, because y'all give me information that I don't even know sometimes. I'd be shocked. Like, then I go reference it and research it and be blown. TJ says, we're on one. Sorry, Julie. Freedom is not given, it's taken. Deep sigh, because he's not wrong. Listen, for all you religious people and peaceful people, there's nothing wrong with being peaceful, but always remember, in the Bible, you're still going to need your shield, your breastplate, and your sword. You're always going to be a conflict. Whether you're willing to stand up and go front line or aid the battle, you're still included. We need each other. There's things that Darren knows that I don't know. There's things Julie knows that I don't know. There's things I know that you guys don't know. There's things I know how to do that you don't know how to do. And there's things you know how to do that I don't know how to do. This is what society and civilization is us working together and building a better goddamn future. But it's hard to build that future when the future's been perverted by a certain group of people that won't fucking die off because they've been around for almost 2,000 years. Darren says, I saw a picture of the bowling shoes with the number 22 and 23. That main incident was, before I say what I say, thoughts to the people affected by this incident. I'll never say prayers because I want my thoughts and my love with you. I don't want my prayers because I don't know what you believe in. I don't know who you're talking to. So I'll say my thoughts and my love are to the people and the families out there hurting right now over this incident in Maine that we clearly know. If you're on my Telegram, I was covering it. It's fabricated. It's about as fake as double D's right now. All right. Julie says, may not know everything, but able to think for yourself and unplug from the mainstream narrative. Yes, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. So I can pull away from this at any moment. Whatever I watch, I can see the symbolism. Whatever you tell me about, I know something about it. I may not know everything, but I know something about it. TJ says it will take the U.S., all of the U.S. TJ, that's all I'm trying to spread is that I need y'all. Y'all need me. We need each other right now to get through this. Because if there's no unity and no unified front, we're going to be eating crickets. We're going to have on smart watches that can't come off our wrist. And we're going to be in electric cars and smart homes that don't let her out of our homes and don't let her out of our houses and shit. All right. Julie says, wasn't there 22 victims? I feel like he shot a lot. I think it's 22 deceased and like 50-something injuries. The number keeps changing day by day. TJ says, we're there, friend. I appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it, yo. Because as much as we're fighting right now, as far as protests, We got to cut that out. Because the fighting force is inside of America. Everyone's waiting on us right now. France is waiting on us. Italy's waiting on us. Israel's waiting on us. I told y'all months ago that the Israelis were rioting against their own government. I've told y'all that numerous times. Australia's waiting on us. I know I got a lot of New Zealanders on the Daily Rabbit Hole too. When they see this video, shout out to New Zealand, man, because they rock with me too. I got a lot of Africans on my page too. You know what I'm saying? I get them in my chat often. Maybe it's the time zone thing, but they're going through their methods right now with France. Much love to the Australians. I ain't seen too many Canadians on here. I think McCabe is Canadian. I could be wrong. I don't think it's McCabe that's Canadian. I think it's someone else. All right, Becky. Battery went dead. You have a good night. I'm getting ready to get off also. I'm 36 minutes over. I typically do 2 hours with you guys, right? So I went over because this was a really good show tonight. We're maintaining numbers. Again, donate to the Daily Rabbit Hole. Follow all our pages. Subscribe. And I say our because I'm not the only one working. I do have a staff. Subscribe to the Daily Rabbit Hole on Facebook. Donate. Send your stars. Where's my QR code? Bam. Donate. That's my PayPal. All right. Hey, Steve. Steve, you late as hell. Steve, you so damn late. Why are you so late, Steve? Steve, I talked to you and told you I was going live. I told you. I was waiting on you. But it was a damn good show tonight, Steve. You're gonna watch it when I get off of here, and you're gonna be like, yes, brother, yes. I'm gonna be like, yes, my guy, yes. Shout out to Ohio, all right? You know, Ohio's going through the thing with this child trafficking situation. All those kids gone missing in a month. Something like 1,000 kids missing in a month. All right. Shout out to Ohio for kind of putting their foot down and killing that child trafficking ring out there. Whoever tagged Steve, I appreciate it because he popped in about 5 minutes after I said that. All right. But you guys stay vigilant. You guys stay strong. You guys stay smart, and you keep taking in that information, man. The Daily Rabbit Hole is for you, and I'm trying to rock with y'all, man. But we got an uphill battle, and we can't be afraid. It's okay to be scared, but bravery is facing things in the name of fear. All right? When you're afraid and you still go do it, that's called bravery. Be brave. Be smart. Don't be afraid to say something. If you see something fishy in your neighborhood, say something. Go do recon in your neighborhood. Go do patrol. Walk up and down your street. That's all it takes. See what's going on. No one's telling you to go out here and put a cape on and save the world, but you can walk up and down your street and make sure that there's nothing going on your street. If you're out here with no kids, go do recon, get on your pilgrimage, urban pilgrimage, and move around. Travel. See what's going on out here and notice that it ain't what it seems. All right, people? I love you all. Appreciate you tuning in with me tonight. Steve says, I'm going to go ahead and put this up. I'm going to put the goodbye messages up. All about you, brother. And my wife says hi, too. Tell the missus I said hello. Be safe. Thank you for tuning in. Julie says, this was my first live I interacted with, and it was quite interesting, informative, and fun. Thank you for your time and effort, sir. Thank you so much, Julie. I try to interact with you guys. You guys make my show what it is. You make my page what it is. You make all my platforms what it is. Everything that I do is because of you guys, all right? Without you guys, there's no Daily Rabbit Hole. I appreciate you, Julie. Brandy says, God bless my brother. God bless you, too. Thank you. To the Midwest, 4 states, another subject, but appreciate you, TJ, for being on here, all right? You guys have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Donate stars. Donate to my PayPal. I'm on TikTok, the Daily Rabbit Hole. If you want to go to Telegram, I'm going to probably get off here and get on Telegram. The Daily Rabbit Hole on Telegram. The Daily Rabbit Hole on Instagram. On Instagram, it's Daily Rabbit Hole, no the. On Facebook, it's The Daily Rabbit Hole 2.0. Just type it in and look for the bunny rabbit. And if you know you follow the backwoods, go to the backwoods. That's where that's my backup page. Just go out there and hang out with me. Steve says, let's man up and march these streets. Absolutely. Do recon, patrol your streets at night. It's your duty. If you go outside with your concealed carry, there's nothing wrong with that. Just walk up and down your street and talk to your neighbors, all right? I appreciate you. Donate, subscribe, follow. You guys have a good night. This is the Daily Rabbit Hole. America first. All right?